The very first thing I did after reincarnating as a giant python was to forcibly kidnap a little female snake from the roadside. I finally experienced the pleasure of snake reproduction, but 3 seconds later I was completely panicked, all because I realized with horror that this seemingly ordinary little female snake was actually the empress who commanded 100,000 dragon soldiers. At that moment, the little snake was curled up in the corner, quietly licking the wounds left by my rough actions. Her cold snake eyes were filled with resentment. I am the exalted dragon empress. Never did I expect that after falling from grace, I would be defiled by this uncivilized brute. Once I recover my cultivation, I will definitely tear you apart and chop you into pieces. Although the little female snake didn't speak, I could clearly hear the hatred in her heart. I was completely stunned. I never expected that this little snake was also a reincarnator, and moreover a top-tier big shot like the Dragon Empress. Thinking about that horrible encounter just now, I couldn't help but feel a wave of panic. This little snake currently hates me to the bone. If she really recovers her cultivation, I'm probably going to be completely done for, turning into a dead, dried-up snake. Just as I was thinking about whether to strike while she's weak, and make the first move, a cold, mechanical voice suddenly exploded in my mind. Ding! Counterattack to immortality system successfully bound. Special ability acquired. 100-fold return. Give benefits to the bound target, and receive up to 100-fold return in return. Locking onto return target. Binding successful, bound target. Liu Ruyan, Empress of the Primordial Dragon Clan. Hearing this, I was overjoyed. Sure enough, the essential cheat code for any reincarnator had finally arrived. I suddenly turned my head to look at Liu Ruyan at the cave entrance. At this moment in my eyes, she was no longer a death sentence, but a priceless treasure. After Liu Ruyan's eyes met mine, her body instinctively trembled violently. Then my massive body crawled straight toward the cave entrance. Seeing this, Liu Ruyan screamed in her heart. What is this lecherous worm going to do now? Isn't he satisfied yet? In her previous life as the Dragon Empress, she knew very well the lustful nature of snakes. If she had to endure a second round of humiliation, she would rather bite her tongue and die right now. Liu Ruyan clenched her jaw, a look of determination flashing in her eyes. Clearly she was ready to fight me to the death. But to her surprise, I didn't even glance at her, and slithered right past her, heading deeper into the mountains and forests. Of course, I heard Liu Ruyan's inner thoughts loud and clear. It's true that snakes are lustful by nature, but in my previous life, I was a 20-year-old virgin. I really couldn't bring myself to do it again. Besides, my consciousness hadn't fully awakened earlier. Strictly speaking, that violent act just now wasn't really my doing. I quickly slithered through the jungle, while sorting through the memories in my mind. The most important thing now was to increase my cultivation, and strive to transform into human form as soon as possible, to get rid of this scaly body. When my figure appeared at the cave entrance again, I already had all kinds of prey in my mouth. Seeing the prey, Liu Ruyan instinctively curled her body up as tightly as possible. She had also tried to escape earlier, but her injuries were too severe, and she simply couldn't move. After seeing the pile of bloody food, Liu Ruyan's throat bobbed as she swallowed her saliva, but hindered by the pride of an empress, she didn't show any sign of begging for food, and still held her head high. Seeing this, I thought about teasing her a bit more, but then changed my mind and decided against it. If I accidentally starved my golden goose to death, that would be a huge loss. I directly bit into a plump brown bear, and violently flung it in front of Liu Ruyan. Liu Ruyan's eyes were filled with shock at the sight. By now, she was so hungry that her stomach was growling. Even though she was a genius of the demon race and the Dragon Empress, she couldn't resist the basic instinct to survive. Fine then. I'll have just one bite. Once I recover my cultivation, I'll get revenge for today's humiliation. Then Liu Ruyan hesitated no more, opened her massive jaws, and tore through the bear's tough hide with her fangs in one bite. After hearing her thoughts, my face immediately darkened. Eating my food, drinking my food, and still thinking about skinning me. If it weren't for the system binding me to her, I would have already run far away and left her to fend for herself. Soon after, pleasant notification sounds rang out one after another in my mind. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have received a 100-fold return reward. Danger alert. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have received a 100-fold return reward. Strength of an ox. I immediately pulled up the system panel. At this point, more than a dozen types of edible items had already appeared on it. I couldn't help but marvel, as expected of a cultivation master, just by eating one brown bear. The benefits she brought me were already this terrifying. Without a second thought, I directly bit into another bear and flung it in front of Liu Ruyan again. At that moment, Liu Ruyan was digesting the food in her stomach, and her body was visibly recovering at a rapid pace. Seeing me throw over another wild beast, she accepted it without hesitation, opening her mouth wide and tearing into it again. The pleasant system notification sounds kept exploding in my mind. Seeing this, I was absolutely overjoyed. So this is what it feels like to win by doing nothing. Then for 3 days straight, I went on a crazy hunt every single day, capturing all the wild beasts within 100 miles. None could escape my grasp. Most of the beasts I brought back went into Liu Ruyan's bottomless pit. Her scales grew shinier and shinier, and her size kept increasing rapidly, almost catching up to me. I could even feel from her a faint and subtle pressure of a powerful being. But the faster Liu Ruyan recovered, the more excited I became, because I was the one who truly benefited the most. By now I had acquired nearly 100 divine abilities, and my strength was countless times greater than 3 days ago. I let out a loud laugh, and flung the prey I had just caught in front of Liu Ruyan once more, eagerly waiting to check my gains this time, and to check the change in the bound target Liu Ruyan's state of mind. Intimacy +1. Divine ability synthesis function activated notification. The higher the intimacy, the better the return rewards. If intimacy drops to 0, the binding relationship will be immediately dissolved. Hearing this, I was stunned. I found that not only had an intimacy value appeared on the system panel, but also an incredible divine ability synthesis function. Without any hesitation, I immediately fused together all the common divine abilities I had obtained over the past few days. Ding, synthesis successful. Congratulations, you have obtained a spiritual grade divine ability. The next second, my snake body, originally over 10 jang long, began to expand rapidly, my scales making a metallic clanging sound as they opened and closed. My body had grown a full circle thicker than before. Feeling this explosive change in myself, I turned into a streak of light and tentatively struck at a small hill not far away. With a loud bang, the powerful sound of the impact echoed through the sky. That solid small hill was actually pierced through by me, leaving a huge hole. At the same time, inside the cave after 3 days of eating, Liu Ruyan had already recovered some of her strength. A cold, proud smile appeared in her eyes. No matter how clever your schemes, and how much you wish to destroy my dragon clan. So what? I, Liu Ruyan, have still managed to find a sliver of hope to live on. Just then, a loud bang suddenly came from afar. Liu Ruyan's breath hitched, feeling an overwhelming pressure bearing down on her, making it hard for her to breathe. Could it be that the heavenly soldiers pursuing me have arrived? Thinking this, Liu Ruyan's entire body tensed up, ready to fight to the death. But to her surprise, the moment she looked up, she saw a massive silver-white python, coiled on a pile of rubble not far away, its entire body exuding a terrifying aura. How could it be him? Liu Ruyan's eyes showed an expression of utter disbelief. She never would have imagined that the earth-shattering bang just now was actually caused by the silver snake. This destructive power is no less than that of a spirit-level cultivator. I clearly remember that he was just a lucky ordinary snake. How could he have undergone such a complete transformation in just 3 days? Then Liu Ruyan's eyes narrowed, her sharp gaze landing on my forehead, on the small bump that had just grown there. She was slightly stunned. So that's it. He actually has a trace of dragon bloodline. No wonder he can evolve so quickly, but that doesn't mean much. I'll let you be arrogant for a few more days. As long as I restart my dragon clan's cultivation technique, I will definitely leave you far behind. Thinking this, Liu Ruyan sighed inwardly. But unfortunately, to restart the cultivation technique, I need the help of Demon Beast inner cores. With my current cultivation level, this is quite difficult. Little did she know that all her thoughts were being heard by me without exception. I looked at Liu Ruyan, scheming silently in my mind. It seems that if I want to keep getting stronger and milk the system, I need to find a way to get some demon cores for this girl. Liu Ruyan felt a bit creeped out by my stare, and couldn't help but curse inwardly. You damn pervert, what are you looking at? Don't think that just because you've advanced to spirit level, I'm afraid of you. Once I cultivate the Dragon Clan's secret technique, I'll definitely grind you under my foot. I shook my head and smiled bitterly in resignation. I never expected that after coming to another world, I'd still have to work like a slave for such a sundry girl. Complaints aside, I turned around and slithered deeper into the dense forest. It didn't take long before I reached the depths of the forest. At that moment, I felt that the spiritual energy here was exceptionally abundant, as if every breath I took could increase my cultivation. I immediately began greedily absorbing the surrounding spiritual energy. Just then, a sharp, piercing bird call suddenly came from above my head. The moment I looked up, I saw a large bird extending a pair of sharp claws and diving rapidly straight toward me. Facing this sudden attack, I didn't dare relax at all, twisting my body rapidly and successfully dodging just as the bird's claws were about to land. Bang! As my snake body slithered away, the bird's claws came down, gripping the massive boulder I had been resting on just moments ago. That boulder weighed at least 300 or 400 pounds, but under the bird's sharp talons, it was instantly shattered into pieces. Seeing this, my scalp immediately went numb. Good thing I'm fast. If those claws had landed on me, I would have been cut into several pieces. I'm a snake, not an earthworm. If I really ended up in pieces, I'd be dead for sure. Swish! Seeing that its attack missed, the large bird immediately flew up again and continued lunging at me. Oh man, I quickly twisted my snake body and retreated rapidly, while cursing under my breath. What kind of bird is this? Why is it so aggressive? Ding, host has encountered a second-level snake-eating bird. Detected that Liu Ruyan urgently needs a demon core for cultivation. Giving this demon core to Liu Ruyan will earn you an additional special reward. Hey, an additional reward. My eyes immediately lit up, but then quickly fell. That additional reward is very tempting, but this big bird is too fierce. I can't win against it, and just from its name, I can tell it's a natural enemy of snakes. A snake like me who just broke through to spirit level. How can I be a match for this big bird? The reward is nice, but only if I survive. I'm not stupid. I wouldn't go head-to-head when I know I'm outmatched. That's just looking for trouble. But don't forget, I'm not purely a snake. I'm a modern young man who received a higher education. If I can't beat this snake-eating bird with brawn, can't I use my brain? While the snake-eating bird was still circling overhead, I looked around, and my eyes landed on some vines not far away. I immediately had a plan. I let out a provocative hiss, directed at the snake-eating bird in the sky. The snake-eating bird, seeing that a mere snake, not even a first-level demon beast, dared to provoke it, immediately got angry, letting out an enraged screech, and then lunged fiercely toward me. I was secretly delighted, and quickly twisted my body, rapidly heading toward the vine area not far ahead. One attack missed. The snake-eating bird barely paused at all, before lunging at me again. This snake-eating bird was extremely fast, and luckily I had advanced to spirit level, with a trace of spiritual energy inside me, which greatly enhanced my physical strength, and made me much faster than before. Otherwise, I would probably have been torn apart already, but even so, there were several times when I almost failed to dodge in time and was caught by the snake-eating bird. And so with me running away, and it chasing, the snake and the bird reached the edge of the vine area. At the same time, the snake-eating bird dove down at me once more, so fast that it was almost invisible to the naked eye. Seeing the snake-eating bird diving at me, this time I didn't dodge immediately. Instead, I waited until the bird was a bit closer, and then suddenly turned sideways, The diving snake-eating bird brushed past my body and landed directly in the tangled vines. The snake-eating bird, trapped by the vines, couldn't manage to fly back up for a while, watching the bird struggle constantly, getting more and more entangled by the vines. I felt a sense of satisfaction. Stupid bird, you're finished now. I twisted my body and slowly approached the snake-eating bird. Boom! But just as I got a little closer, I suddenly felt a force pressing down on me from all directions. Caught off guard, I almost got flattened to the ground. What the hell is this so powerful? I muttered to myself, forcing myself to take a few steps back. When I looked up at the snake-eating bird again, I saw that the big bird was getting tied up tighter and tighter by the vines. Great opportunity. But thinking about that strange force from just now, I was still a bit worried. Oh right, I have divine abilities. I suddenly remembered that I had divine abilities too. I flicked out my blood-red forked tongue, letting out a sharp hiss that echoed through the mountains and forests. Countless birds took flight in panic. With just that one hiss, the snake-eating bird froze for a long moment, forgetting even to struggle. The next second, I brought my massive jaws down and bit off the snake-eating bird's head in one go. A crisp sound of cracking bones echoed. I spat out the bird's head. The head tumbled across the ground a few times, still wearing a terrified expression. So what if you're stronger than me? I've got brains. Ding, congratulations, host. You have successfully hunted the second-level demon beast snake-eating bird. The system rewards the host with a dragon scale. The host may freely place this dragon scale anywhere on their body, as a means of protection. A dragon scale? Isn't that awesome? Hearing the system's reward, a floating dragon scale appeared before me the next second. Not very large, but extremely tough. A faint residual power radiated from it, making me a bit wary. Then I'll place it over my heart, just in case Lu Ruyan tries to assassinate me one day. I looked over my whole body and placed the dragon scale on my 7-inch spot. As the saying goes, to kill a snake, strike its 7-inch spot. The 7-inch spot is where the snake's heart is located. With a mental command, the dragon scale instantly appeared on my 7-inch spot, wrapping tightly around it, firmly protecting my heart. The dragon scale flashed with a gleam of light, and then disappeared, fully merging into my body, becoming a part of me. But soon my attention was drawn back to the snake-eating bird, because for now, the dragon scale seemed completely unremarkable. Where is the demon core? Should I take the entire corpse with me, or just carry the demon core in my mouth? No, take the whole thing. I thought about it. What if the demon core melts right in my mouth? For now, I'd better leave the demon core inside the body. I could clearly feel that after the snake-eating bird died, its life force plummeted, and a pure demonic energy emerged from within its body. Very enticing. But it would be better to give this demon core to Liu Ruyan to eat. Only then will it have 1000% effect. I twisted my body around the vines, and with tremendous effort, finally pulled the snake-eating bird's corpse down. Then I carried the snake-eating bird's corpse back the way I came. I need to let that useless Liu Ruyan have a taste right away.